Alright, the Lakers are back in the gym for training camp, and I guess kind of training camp part 2. Last week they only had 3 days of training camp and 3 days of practice time before their first preseason game. Obviously that was not enough, either offensively or defensively, and they have a lot to work on schematically. But now with 4 more days of practice time before their next preseason game, not only that, but getting guys back on the court, getting Marcus Smart back on the court, Maxi Kleber, LeBron, and Luka Doncic to a certain degree, and some more positive updates come with it, I think they will look better the next time we watch them. So with that in mind here, we're going to talk about the health updates, what we heard and what we've seen from their training camp day 4, and the outlook for their team going forward too. So we're going to talk about that and try to break it all down here. And well, to begin regarding the health updates, during practice today Marcus Smart practiced in full, the first time that he did a full live practice with their team and didn't have any limitations with it. Along with that, Gabe Vincent fully practiced, Maxi Kleber returned to practice but only for an individual standpoint, doing individual drills and working on the side himself, of which we did get some practice footage of, him shooting some 3-point shots in the corner, being around the rim and simply putting in some individual work. In addition to that, we got to see LeBron back on the court, albeit briefly, participating in practice in a modified version, which is what JJ Redick called it, jokingly referring to it as load management for both himself and for Luka Doncic. Even Chomps reporting that LeBron's not likely to play in preseason, something the Lakers have not directly confirmed but have been kind of hinting at, which I do believe, and I don't think LeBron will play throughout preseason. You know, whether the glute nerve irritation thing is a real thing for him, or simply that they're load managing him and don't want to put too much on him yet. After all, he is 40 going on 41, entering year number 23, so yeah, they probably do want to limit him a bit, and he probably himself does too. And then for Luka Doncic, also practicing in a modified version, doing more individual work rather than 5-on-5 work, or practicing with the entire team, also being under load management after doing the Eurobasket competition, not to mention putting in quite a bit of work on himself, both in regard to his game and his own body too, undergoing quite the body transformation, so it's really not that shocking and probably for the best that they're limiting Luka Doncic. And overall here, those are the updates we got for Luka Doncic, LeBron James, Maxi Kleber, and Marcus Smart. Smart finally being back on the court, and that's really the big one to point to. Redick talking about it, talking about how good he looked and the atmosphere with Marcus Smart out there, how intense he was, and per usual with Marcus Smart, that's what you want from him. So that's obviously a positive thing to point to, likely hinting that he will be back for preseason this weekend. Their next preseason game is Sunday night, once again against Golden State, so hopefully he will be out there. I mean, at that point we'll then get a much better picture of their defense, not only with a healthy Jared Vanderbilt, DeAndre Ayton, but with Marcus Smart too. So fingers crossed for that, and here's quickly what both Redick and Austin Reeves had to say regarding Marcus Smart.
What's the latest update with some of the guys that we're hoping to ramp up this week?
Marcus did most of practice, including some live play. It was great to see him out there.
You mentioned Marcus participated. How did Smart look? Like, how was he moving and just getting back into the action?
Yeah, he was awesome. He was awesome. I think given the workload of today, I was impressed that he was able to sustain his level of intensity for as long as he did.
Yeah, he guarded me a little bit at the first of practice, and you still feel that pressure, you feel the intensity that he brings on the defensive end, and that's going to be big for us. We need that. We need him to be the best version of himself, and with that communication that he brings, especially defensively. He's been in the league a while. He knows how to win at the highest level, so very excited to have him.
Like I said, they definitely are quick to note the intensity that he brought. I mean, talking about the intensity they play with during practice, now think about that and how he will translate that to game action, hopefully elevating their defense and the mindset they bring to their defense, getting back on defense, another thing that Redick talked about, another thing they have not been doing well throughout preseason, currently giving up the 3rd most fast break points per game to their opponent, nearly 21 per game, only during preseason, but still something to worry about, as that was the problem for them last season, giving up the 5th most fast break points per game during the regular season. So obviously not very good, something they need to work on and something they should have been working on for quite some time now. Hopefully Marcus Smart can help them with that and finally help them change their mindset to get back on defense. But apart from Marcus Smart, it was good to see Maxi Kleber back out there. Again, we got actual footage of him working on his game from the corner and wing, working on his game around the basket, and simply being in practice gear and being back on the practice court. That was good to see. Though again, he was a limited participant, mainly doing individual work rather than 5-on-5 or full contact play, so he does have a little bit more to go yet. Apparently did tweak his quad during day 1 of training camp. That's what led to the MRI with him and him being held out and limited right now. So hopefully he will get cleared by this weekend, making his Laker debut in preseason, and hopefully gain his way into their full rotation if he can eventually prove that he does have something to offer. But apart from Maxi Kleber and Marcus Smart, to quickly touch on the LeBron stuff and the decision 2.0 quote unquote, I mean, I never even talked about it leading up to it. I was 99.9% sure it would be an advertisement or something along the lines of it, which that did turn out to be true. No, LeBron's not retiring. No, he's not leaving their team or whatever it might be. It was simply an advertisement for Hennessy. So shout out to him for making money from it, I guess, but no, not anything to worry about, not anything to touch on and talk about too much further from this. And that's directly what both JJ Redick, Austin Reeves, and a few other Lakers had to talk about too, even calling it outright bullshit.
Did anybody text you about LeBron retiring?
You guys are idiots.
Imagine, did anybody text you?
We all knew it was an ad, right? We all knew.
I got a lot of texts.
I'm sure I got some texts.
Any fun ones?
No, I mean, I think most people that text me are also aware that it's probably an ad. Nobody was freaking out.
I just got a couple calls. I was like, what is this? Nah, it's not.
She's pretty online.
She is very online. She believes everything she sees too. So, yeah, I mean, obviously, I think it had the world by by hold for whenever he released it to whatever time he said it this morning. Obviously, people was thinking that he was retiring. I'm glad it's not. That's all I can say.
Again, glad LeBron's not retiring as I never thought he would be, nor announcing his retirement from this, but I don't think it's worth talking about any further, so moving on here, talking about Jared Vanderbilt. No, not about his production and what he's been showing up until this point, which has been very positive in my opinion, but from something he had to say post-practice, kind of breaking down the Lakers' hierarchy, their leadership structure, and where he kind of puts people at. For their vocal leaders, he talked about LeBron and Luka, not really that shocking, but then for their defensive leaders, directly naming himself and Marcus Smart. Then for their leaders by example, quote unquote, naming Austin Reeves and Gabe Vincent, which I thought was a pretty interesting way to put it and pretty cool way to kind of rank their hierarchy. And here's what he had to say regarding it.
I mean, we have a lot of leaders. Everybody kind of covers different categories. We got Bron and Luka are kind of the vocal leaders. Me and Marcus as far as defense. And some guys just like AR and Gabe are just lead by example. Being on time, coming to show up to work every day, helping the teammate out. So we have a lot of leaders and veterans in their own right. So I think that that's what's going to make us a good team. Guys being able to, everybody being able to pitch in and say what they got to say, taking constructive criticism. And you need that dynamic in order to be a great team. So I think we got a good balance and mixture of that.
I don't know about you guys, but I for one love that quote by Vanderbilt. I know we often talk about and view both Luka and LeBron at the top of their team, both from a talent and I guess kind of leadership standpoint too, and rightfully so, but we don't often give credit or talk much about the defensive leadership, both of which Marcus Smart and Jared Vanderbilt definitely exemplify, what it takes to get there and everything that entails for their team, and what their team desperately needs, not to mention. Or even the leaders by example like Austin Reeves and Gabe Vincent, really telling you about the team-wide respect those two have, how much they mean to the team and what they show on the court each and every day, even when we're not able to see it. That really tells you about it, and I think Vanderbilt put that perfectly. But overall here, it sounded like a productive and getting healthier day of practice for them. Getting Marcus Smart back on the court, getting Maxi Kleber back on the court to a certain degree, getting both Luka and LeBron back to a certain degree, getting healthier, getting more time to work on their schemes, and hopefully getting better on defense, getting back on defense too. Definitely a lot to work on, but they do seem to be trending in the right direction. So with all of that being said, what do you guys think? What were your takeaways from what was said and what was reported from Lakers training camp day 4 quote unquote, and what they should be working on going forward? let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. But I think that'll pretty much do it for this one, and if you enjoyed the video, then I would greatly appreciate it if you dropped a like, subscribe to the channel if you have not already, and hit that notification bell to never miss out when I upload a video. But as always, thank you for watching and have a great day or night.